Welcome to the Websters of Wrestling. This is a TNA show, TNA edition. I'm the five-star. Whoa, what?
Hold on.
What?
Wait, I didn't even know you were going to do that. I was going to ask you so I could go smoke a cigarette first.
Go.
I just sat on the computer with
Go.
2 hours not smoking a cigarette.
Go.
I swear half a
Just
cigarette.
go. Just go. We'll carry the show. We will do fine without you. He's gone. Okay. WWE man and the 5-star legend here. We're here with our special guest, one of a kind. Not anymore. He's going for a smoke. But that's okay. Well, this is a TNA edition. What are we going to be talking about today, WWE man?
Well, we're going to be talking about total nonstop action wrestling, TNA, Impact. We're going to be talking about Dixie Carter and how maybe she should smarten up, like the fan said. And we're going to be talking. It's going to be a divisive show. It's going to be very diverse opinions. It's going to polarize certain members of our audience. It's going to be interesting.
It's going to be uncut, by the way.
It's going to be completely uncut, uncensored, unrehearsed, and uncalled for.
Unpredictable and what are other unwords? If you can think of an unword, it's probably it. Unentertaining.
I think uncalled for is the best one.
Well, that's your opinion. I agree, actually. It's my opinion now. Yeah, this is unrehearsed. It's not going to be cut at all. Not going to be edited.
Be throwing shit around, really.
Yeah, we're going to be throwing shit around. It's not going to be rated. We're not going to be PG. Even though we're not really PG, it's just we're.
Can you even rate? Can you even rate a YouTube show, a television rating? We're not. The MPAA is not.
Yeah, we're out of their jurisdiction, really. So here we are.
Uncut. So go ahead and dive into some TNA topics, 5-star. Get us started.
How about you? How about you get us started? Because first of all, I'm tired. So you dive into some topics, and I will return. And let's hope that one of a kind returns also. Good luck, WWE man. I'll be back.
Okay. Well, first off, we're gonna talk about whether TNA is behind the times or not, and I honestly think they are. With people like Hogan, with people like Bischoff in charge of the company, kind of running the company along with Dixie Carter, I feel like Eric Bischoff has never been a good mind in the wrestling business. He's been a great on-screen character throughout his years, especially on his Monday Night Raw run and also in WCW. But as a mind in professional wrestling, I've never have cared for his take, his booking, his storyline abilities in writing. And I would really like to hear one of a kind thoughts and 5-star thoughts on the Eric Bischoff's ability as a storyline. As a mind behind storylines and mind behind booking in professional wrestling, and how he's done it so far in his TNA run, along with Hogan, along with Dixie Carter, and if you feel that they've done an adequate job, or if they're really just stuck in the old days, stuck behind the times.
I think that they are still behind the times. I think they're a little bit like one of a kind earlier with this Goldberg reference. I was talking we were talking about SummerSlam and what he thought about it, and he's like, I didn't think it was very good because Goldberg destroyed people in the Elimination Chamber in 2003. I was like, what? What? What did that have to do with the pay-per-view?
But if Goldberg was in TNA, it'd be the #1 company, according to one of a kind.
He loves Goldberg. He calls Goldberg the king of wrestling. So if you haven't noticed that little Easter egg or inside joke that I do, whenever Goldberg is mentioned, I say Goldberg the king of wrestling, because I like to get on his back about that. I love Goldberg, and I think that the character he was built to be was amazing.
I agree. I think Goldberg's character was great. I don't love Goldberg one bit, but I'm not a Goldberg mark, or maybe even not a Goldberg fan. But his character that WCW built for him was very solid.
Yeah, I agree. Now that one of a kind is returning, let's not talk about this and let him find out what we were talking about when he watches the show.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
He's back! One of a
He is
kind!
back. Welcome back, one of a kind. You missed some topics. I'm going to just bring up to speed, not about the Goldberg topic, but
What are you
more
talking
about
about? We weren't talking about Goldberg.
well, that's for him to find out. But one of a kind. We were talking about Eric Bischoff. We were talking about Hulk Hogan, and we were talking about Dixie Carter. How do you think that all three of these minds, along with Vince Russo in the past, he's no longer hired by TNA as a writer or any kind of job in TNA wrestling. But how do you feel that these four people have done as creative leaders in TNA and running the company in general? How do you feel that they've done?
I actually think, they're actually doing a pretty good job in my eyes. I don't see any reason to doubt anybody. Brooke Hogan just got fired, which I'm actually, really ecstatic that happened. I really didn't see why she was there. I know she was in charge of the knockout division, but I really don't see any other reason why she should have been there.
Well,
but other than that,
there, so.
well, yeah, her dad. Besides that, but other than that, I actually think they're doing a pretty good job. They've always had the Bound for Glory series, which is a very excellent, idea. I think WWE should, do something similar to that, but not in the same time. To win points and everything like that to get a future title shot. I think that's a brilliant idea. I actually like some of the things they are doing.
All right. Do you think that Vince Russo, when he was in TNA, because I was speaking very briefly about him, do you think that Vince Russo, in his stint in TNA as lead creative writer, do you think that he added anything or took away anything from TNA?
No, I actually think that he did a really good job as well.
Okay.
I don't see no flaws in what he was doing.
That's a controversial opinion.
Wow.
Yeah.
You don't see any flaws in what he was doing. Levi Junk, WWE man, name some flaws.
Okay, a lot of the major flaws and a lot of the major problems with Vince Russo is his outlook on professional wrestling. He's come out and said this. I'm not going to say I'm quoting it word for word, but I'm going to quote it as close as I can. His philosophy on wrestling is to make the storylines and make the show is for an audience that does not like wrestling. His philosophy is to make the show as far removed from what a wrestling fan would want out of the show. So if he could, he would remove the wrestling ring altogether. That's how much he really doesn't want the show to resemble the professional wrestling show. That right there is a big flaw. Whenever you're trying to please an audience that likes professional wrestling, obviously, likes sports entertainment, whatever you want to call it, and your idea behind everything that you do creatively is to take away what most fans want out of the show, that's a big flaw in and of itself. So with his creative philosophy comes a lot of mistakes, and a lot of the mistakes come with overbooked finishes, too many references to real life personas that just come across as kind of cheesy and too insidey, kind of inside the business that most fans really don't care about. It doesn't help the rivalries, it doesn't help the feuds. You can go back to the finger poke of doom in WCW with Hulk Hogan. That's kind of a prime example of Vince Russo and his outlook on professional wrestling and how most of the audience, casual and hardcore, doesn't get anything out of that. And it doesn't help the wrestlers or help the business in any way. And like I said, very overbooked finishes, too many run-ins, too many screw jobs. A lot of the storylines don't add up or make sense. It's very just kind of all over the place with his writing. He a lot of times creates something edgy, but without much substance, or something edgy to try to get the audience interested in it, but doesn't do a very good job following up with it. So those are kind of my issues with Vince Russo in WCW and TNA. I think it all comes back to this philosophy that he is a writer who writes for professional wrestling, but tries to steer as far away from professional wrestling when he writes. So.
Oh yeah, I can see where somebody would would get that from. I understand that completely. But in my mind, which is kind of foggy right now, audience and everything, I will inform you I do have certain issues, and I am on medication, but that's all getting fixed hopefully within a week, so I'll be back normal. But even though, you know, he tried steering away, he doesn't want to make it the same old typical wrestling that everyone is so used to. He wants to make a difference in it.
I agree that his motive is to change professional wrestling, and I think that if you want to steer so far away that you almost want to alienate the fans that actually like the product, I don't see how that helps anything.
What he's trying to do is, by making it not the same old wrestling, is he's actually trying to draw more people in to different storylines and different everything else, so they can get a lot more viewers, they can get a lot more everything, money, income, everything. They don't want it to be the same thing as WWE is putting on. That's not what TNA is about.
Hey, that to me, I'm sorry, that to me sounds like the prostitute hooker industry changing their business from sex to hugs. And you go to them, pay them on the street for a hug. They're not going to get as much business, even though they're trying to change it to get other people who would probably want a hug. But they won't get as many if they actually get something that they're actually the title description says. Because when you have a wrestling company, but you're shooting for people who aren't wrestling fans, what are you doing?
It's true. I mean, and I get both of your points, and I've said my point. Um, I think that the aftermath of Russo in both WCW and his stint in TNA prove that whether he has the best intentions in mind, which I do believe he has the best intentions in mind, I don't think he's trying to sabotage companies. I do think he's trying to do his best to help those companies, as anyone would if they were a lead creative writer. Every time besides the Attitude Era, every other time that he's stepped foot into a company and has had a lead role, the company has gone either completely extinct, like WCW, and out of business, or very downhill in the ratings. Once he joined TNA, the ratings really plummeted quite a bit over the years, and he's gone now, and the ratings still are down. But he kind of really did help damage the company in terms of ratings and popularity. Now you could argue Attitude Era, was he a big part of it or not? He did do some good stuff in the Attitude Era, but I feel like he had enough brilliant minds around him that could kind of censor him enough, that could kind of help him along. Minds like Vince McMahon and others. I believe Brian Gerwitz was working with WWE at the time too, but there was others. And when he's not censored enough, when he's not told really what to do, and kind of lives inside the WWF bubble like he did back then,
Yeah.
it's different. But when he's kind of just allowed to be more loose, I feel like he's really damaged the company, and viewership kind of shows that he has. Unfortunately, I have no vendetta against Vince Russo. I'm sure he's a nice guy. I don't have anything against him as a person, but as a writer, I do not enjoy him almost all the time. I don't enjoy his philosophy in writing.
Okay, I can honestly see where you get that from. I do.
Okay.
Like for me though, in my mind, it's just that he just don't want to make the same thing that everyone else is used to with WWE and everything. That's in my mind.
I
I just
agree.
don't.
I know that he has the best of intentions, and I respect him for that.
Yeah, but that's what I honestly think of.
Okay, so I mean, I respect it for that. Do you think that TNA is behind the times in any way by throughout the years, even and not necessarily right now, but you can say now too. With Hogan, with Sting, with guys like that, and featuring them prominently on the show. I mean, they even had Flair versus Sting what was it, a year or two back on Impact, and I remember when that happened. I joked and went on Twitter. I tweeted everyone tune into WCW Thunder because we're having Sting versus Ric Flair live on WCW Thunder. Do you think that they're living too much in the past at times? Do you think that they're playing too much to older wrestlers and not thinking about the future?
I mean, I could see where somebody would get that from. Um, where they got a bunch of older wrestlers like, Sting. I wish Hulk Hogan would go out and wrestle one match. I wish. Um, but they had Sting, they had Ric Flair. At one point, they had Kevin Nash, who is now like a lawyer for Aces and Eights or whatever it was. Then they had X Pac, X Pac at one point.
When?
I think it was X. No, it was Scott Hall. I'm sorry, Scott
Damn
Hall.
it. God, you ruined it. Continue.
It was Scott Hall they had, and I do admit some wash ups. No offense, they are legends. I'm not trying to be mean about it. Um, but some of those do wash up at TNA, and like I know like Bully Ray and Devon, which I have a spoiler on the Aces and Eights and Main Event Mafia match. I actually have a spoiler on that one.
All right, spoiler alert for the one or two people listening.
One or two people listening. I was about to say that. Spoiler alert, you guys. This
Well,
conversation.
yeah, it's really about to be a spoiler alert because I don't know if anyone's actually looked at the spoilers for this week, but I know I did.
Well, go ahead. We gave everyone a proper spoiler warning here, so go ahead.
Okay. AJ Styles is going to help out with the Main Event Mafia, and believe it or not, Devon's going to get pinned. So that'll be the end of Devon's career.
And for those who don't watch TNA, that wasn't much of a spoiler. That was more like of a, oh, that's nice to know.
Well, I hope that people listening to this watch TNA. I mean, come on now.
I'm sorry.
If you're a true wrestling fan, you just can't watch WWE. You gotta.
If
watch
you're a true
everything.
wrestling fan, you can't watch TNA. I'm heel for this episode.
You can go ahead and be heel, but that actually kind of offends me because I watch every single bit of wrestling that is on because I am a wrestling fan.
Good. I'm glad you do. You're a very useful guest. Continue with your TNA promoting.
But I like TNA. I like the fact that some legends do go there. I even consider Jeff Hardy as a legend, even though three times he got busted with weed in his system. But no wonder he flew around all over the place.
He's a high flyer, guys.
No one flies higher than Rob Van Dam.
No one gets higher than Rob Van Dam.
Did you see that picture I posted on our site?
Yeah.
What was it?
The Twitter pic.
It was a picture of RVD by the Hollywood sign, and it said that I know you're not supposed to get this close to this Hollywood sign, but nobody flies higher. Nobody gets higher than RVD. And I posted it to the site, and it got over 47 likes, just that picture alone.
Whoa! Wait, on whose site? On yours? On the Websters of Wrestling?
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
I'm like, whoa! We need to post more RVD weed pictures ASAP.
We need more weed.
Yeah, it was on our World Wrestling News and Rumors page.
Okay, that makes yeah. Not that we wouldn't get 47 likes. I'm just saying.
But I actually do like TNA. I mean, the X Division, I kind of say, it is kind of a ripoff of the Cruiserweights. I will say that much. But the stuff they have the X Division do and how fast and how crazy those people are is completely in a different mindset.
Okay, the X Division is interesting. I want to touch on something as well because we talked about Russo a little bit. We talked about Hogan and Sting. I want to touch on Dixie Carter a little bit.
Okay.
I want to say first of all that Dixie Carter seems like a very, really nice individual. She seems like a really nice person, and I would love to work for a person that nice. She seems like really. When you look at Vince and you hear stories about Vince, he's a great boss, but he does seem like genuinely. Sometimes he seems pretty tough, not very, maybe not the nicest guy. But Dixie Carter seems like a very nice person. That being said, I don't think she knows how to run a company the size of TNA. I don't. I think because of how nice Dixie Carter is, I feel like she lets people run over her. I feel like she's a lot of times not been the boss that she needs to be, and kind of put her foot down and kind of have her own kind of stamp on the company. I feel like she's hired a lot of people like Russo, like Hogan, like Bischoff, and kind of let them run the gamut. And I don't feel like Dixie Carter's never ever really been the boss that I feel like she should be of TNA. As nice as a person as she seems to be, I have respect for her for that. And I feel like there's times throughout the history of TNA that she could have been a harder boss and a more thorough kind of tough boss. What do you think?
Which I can actually agree with you on this one. That I do actually believe that she could be a lot more harder and a lot more intense than what she really is. She's a really easygoing person. I mean, if you follow her on Twitter and everything, she's
Right,
actually really
she's a great person.
yeah.
No doubt about it.
But she's got to put the hammer down every now and again. Like the aces and eights, they can't run wild like that. They just can't do it. On WWE, sure they let DX run wild because Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Badass Billy Gunn, X Pac, China, Road Dogg, they were. I just named every single person. My God, I remember that.
Good job, man.
Hornswoggle was a honorary member.
Oh yeah, but that was the new DX. I'm talking classic DX, where they like rode up into everything with a
Good.
Jeep
I don't
and
want
a
to
tank.
remember that. I mean, I don't like to remember Hornswoggle being in it anyway. So carry on.
Hey, Hornswoggle was amazing.
He was right up there with Bill Goldberg, right?
Oh,
King of Wrestling.
Or at least Goldberg, the Prince of Wrestling.
Yeah.
But I actually agree with you. She could be a lot more harder and needs to put the hammer down when it needs to be put the hammer down, which I actually agree with you on that one.
And don't get me wrong, like I said, Dixie Carter, she seems like a stand-up person, a person that I think anyone would really want to work for because she seems like a genuinely nice person, and that's always an important asset in anybody. So I mean, I feel like sometimes she does let too many other people kind of control the company, which you can have lots of voices, but I feel like because of her nice personality, it kind of gets in the way of people kind of almost, I would say, using her, or using kind of just like running all over,
taking advantage of her,
taking advantage
niceness.
of the niceness.
Yeah.
Whereas Vince isn't near as nice as
you cannot take advantage of Vince's niceness.
Right.
There is none.
He's not. Yeah, he's not. He's a great boss, but Dixie beats him any day on a person that you want to have lunch with or hang out with. But as a boss, Vince
Puts the hammer down.
Right.
The genetic jackhammer down.
Yeah, genetic jackhammer.
That's it. Oh my gosh, dude! Did you play a soundboard, or was that you?
I did not. That was actually WWE, man. In the
leave it to WWE, man, to make a pitch perfect reference. That's great. I'm sorry. Continue.
Maybe he's had a taste of Vince's jackhammer.
I may have.
He's very open. We're very open here. Shout out to Darren Young.
Oh.
That was a high blow, not a low blow.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, that was a very cool. That was very awesome. Darren Young, the first openly gay WWE superstar wrestler. Really, yeah, that was a big moment. I hope it really sheds any barriers that there was in WWE wrestling through these years, because there's been multiple gay wrestlers throughout the years, but never openly gay while being active, and I hope that really sheds down every barrier hope that any potential gay wrestler or any wrestler who is or may be gay comes out now, and I hope that there's no awful barriers that kind of stood there before, and it's all in the open now and accepting and great. So I was very happy about that.
Yeah, I'm very happy that he did too.
Oh man.
I'm very, very happy that he, instead of hiding it, he actually just came out front with it, and that's actually really noble of him.
It's great. I'm really happy for him. I'm happy that he doesn't have to hide it anymore, and he's very open about his sexuality. And I couldn't be more proud or happy for Darren Young. So congratulations, Darren Young.
Yeah, congratulations.
Now, if only the 5-star legend would do it, we'd be so.
I'm waiting my turn, man. I want to give him his spotlight. I'll wait a bit, and then I'll go ahead and come out of this dirty closet.
Is that about it? Do we have anything else to say, really?
Oh, not on Darren Young, but let's get back to TNA.
Okay. Go ahead, one at a time.
Well, I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on it? You guys already know where I pretty much stand on TNA. I actually like it.
I've shared my thoughts, really. I think 5-star is really the only one who hasn't really shared his thoughts on TNA.
I have a legitimate reason. I had no thoughts on TNA.
Why?
Why not? Well, how could I? I mean, okay, I'll give you some thoughts. Okay. Heel 5-star. Your heel is showing. Well, I don't watch TNA. I don't watch TNA. I mean, I've seen too many examples of TNA supposedly high spots that were low spots. I don't want to compare them to WWE because you can't. WWE is a powerhouse. You compare anything to WWE, and it will get squashed unless it's NXT, which is still WWE. Which goes to show it can squash itself. So like when it comes to TNA, the way that they're booking things. I mean, you said you wanted to see Hulk Hogan wrestle again, and I'm just, dude, he wrestles all the time. I saw him try to wrestle his shirt off the other week. It didn't go very well. I think he lost that match, but
Oh, you just think you're a funny human being.
not a human being. No, I'm a legend. So I mean, TNA booking's not very well. The superstars there, they seem maybe too relaxed. Like, all right, I'm gonna discuss something. Okay, I've said this before on the show. In the Attitude Era, you had people who were just fighting to come to the WWE. You had people who were just fighting to go to not TNA, sorry, WCW, and you had these two huge companies trying to put on the very best product. You had people who were leaving WCW to WWE, people who left WWE to WCW, and when they went to their other show, they wanted to prove that that show was better, so they performed at their best. And they put on the very best matches, the best promos as they possibly could until Vince Russo ruined it. Anyway, so WWE, WWF, Attitude Era, you had a bunch of competition. Everybody was competitive. Everybody wanted to be the man. Everybody wanted to be the top guy. And that, according to Jim Ross, is why the Attitude Era was one of WWE's highest moments. That's why the Attitude Era was as good as it was, because of the competition in the locker room. Now, WWE today, there are only a couple, like Daniel Bryan said on CM Punk's DVD, Best in the World. Daniel Bryan said there are a lot of guys who come here for the paychecks and would hate to be called for a 15-minute match. That's because there's not much competition in the WWE. But there is competition just between certain guys. Like the Shield, when they made their debut, they raised the bar. They stepped up and showed what they can do. They were competitive to show that they can stand out against anyone. Dolph Ziggler, he did the same thing. CM Punk, Daniel Bryan. This is what makes those superstars considered big superstars today. And some people don't like them because they don't see something special about them. But this is what's special about them. They have a competitive nature about them that not a lot of people have these days. That being said, you have a few people being competitive in WWE, and they are standing out. But it's still not compared. It's still not anything compared to Attitude Era. Even though you have competition, just not a lot, and they are standing out because they are competitive, because they all want to be the best. Switching gears to TNA, there is no competition. Not at all. Well, AJ Styles, Bobby Roode, those kind of people. I mean, the people who are trying to make it to the top, the younger people, I have to say. You can see who's competitive, but it's just not enough. There's not enough competitive spirit in the locker room. And a lot of that has to do with the amount of legends that are on that show. They don't seem to have a good balance when it comes to legends. Legends like The Rock, Chris Jericho, Brock Lesnar, RVD, The Undertaker, if I haven't already said his name. These guys come every once in a while. Jericho, RVD, a bit younger, a bit fresher. They can come in a little bit longer than the others. Brock Lesnar, big money draw. It costs a lot of money to have him. He comes every now and then, not every single night. The Rock, when he started coming more frequently, it started to get a little rough. The Raw promo started getting a little bit dull back when he was facing John Cena for the second time. And you just need to balance a legend. You can't have them there each and every week. You can't have them in main events. You can't originate your show on legends. Main point of that, main reason why you can't do that is because you will not progress as a company if you are focusing on people who have already made it. You need to focus on the future. WWE's biggest problem right now is finding somebody to take the place of John Cena because they've been pushing John Cena to the top, to the top, to the top, and further, not thinking about the fact, what if we lose John Cena? What if John Cena is gone for 6 months like he's supposed to be? What the hell are you going to do? You need someone to be able to step up, and you don't have it because you haven't pushed the younger superstars. So that's why Daniel Bryan is being pushed to hopefully take the place of John Cena while he is out. In TNA, you got young people who are battling it out for whatever the hell you earn in TNA, but you don't have enough competitive spirit and you don't have enough young people who are getting a shot to be in the spotlight and whatnot. Legends are being pushed, and it's just a very unorganized and not a very stable way of running a company, which goes to show for WCW's last sort of moments, it became very unstable, and the foundation they were building upon just crushed because it was unstable. So TNA
Right.
is setting themselves up for a disaster.
That's
Those are
what
my
happens when
thoughts.
you have. That's what happens when you have someone who doesn't stand up for the company like Eric Bischoff. Eric Bischoff is another guy who let, just like Dixie Carter, he did not was not a overall good boss. He let people run the gamut too much. He let Hogan, he let Nash, he let those guys run the show too much, and he didn't stand up for himself and run the show like he should have, much like Dixie Carter now does, and that's why TNA is very reminiscent of the end of WCW in a lot of ways because of that, because it's run the same way that the end of WCW was run. So yeah, I agree.
That's my input. I mean, thank you for seeing that as well. I would like to get your input on my input. One of a kind. I mean, do you think? I mean, do you have an idea of what I was talking about? Do you notice it too, or what are your
I
thoughts?
mean, I noticed that they are pushing a lot of legends, um, and they do have, a lot of young talent. I mean, I mean, they do have a lot of young talent. Like some of them actually has been at TNA before they went to WWE. Like, what was his name in WWE? I forget what his name was. Caval.
Caval. That
If you
was
guys remember,
Senshi, right?
yeah, it was Senshi
TNA.
TNA. You know,
Yeah,
he
he
got
was
his
on
start
NXT.
there,
Yeah.
and you know, I love the fact that they got all these. I love the fact that they got all these young superstars. You know, I understand where you guys see the reminiscence of like WCW. I do see that, but I like the fact that it is. Hold on, I'm signing into something real quick.
Okay, we're uncut, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, if you stuck with the show.
If you stuck with the
I don't know
show
what's
so
wrong with you.
far, we're 3 hours in.
Yeah, we've been on the phone for like 3 hours now. But yeah, I actually understand where you guys, you know, see that WCW
Oh my God.
is coming in. I do see that.
Yes, sir.
But you know, I gotta agree that in some places that TNA, in my mind, is actually somewhat better than WWE.
Okay. Name why you believe that. What points make TNA better than WWE, buddy?
The matches themselves,
Like match quality?
the match qualities themselves.
Okay, explain.
Like, okay, they take a basic cage match and turn it into the most hardcore, extreme thing in the world.
Was that Lockdown?
They take, yeah, where they hang the weapons from the top and everything like that.
So those matches are not. They're just as hit. I think those matches are just as hit and miss as, let's say, a steel cage match in WWE. Like, I don't think every single one of those lockdown um, cage matches are great matches. I think they have had them, but I don't think they're all. I think there's been multiple occasions where they're pretty bad, at least in my opinion.
I want to point something out real quick. I have a Lockdown DVD because I thought that was interesting, an interesting type match to have. So I watched it, and it was a really good pay-per-view, by the way. But that was back when Hulk Hogan wasn't around, and
Right.
so I watched it, and in their lethal lockdown match with the teams that come out at random, pinfalls or submissions do not count until all of the superstars are there, until both teams are present and the roof is sealed. That is when pinfalls count. But for some reason, in the beginning of the match, AJ Styles was fighting somebody and they were like getting 2 counts. And I was thinking, wait a minute, what would happen if they got a 3 count? What the hell is that referee doing giving 2 counts? Why is AJ pinning him? Why is he pinning him? It was really unorganized. I was thinking, okay, so you give these rules out, but you're still counting a pin.
I know, and I saw that actually. I actually
You know what
where
I'm
you're
talking
coming
about.
from.
Yeah, that's when Sting returned.
But I just think some of their matches. I mean, I'm a big hardcore fan, 5-star. You know that.
Yes.
Like, I love hardcore. Like, if nobody's getting beaten in the head with a steel chair or getting hit with a kendo stick or being put through a table, it really doesn't entertain me.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, do not hit one another in the head with a steel chair. Continue.
It hurts. I've backyard wrestled, been put through barbed wire. It's not fun. Like, when they say don't try it at home, don't try it at home. Dear God, don't try it at home.
Yeah, he tried it for you just to make sure that they were legit, and they are. Do not try it at all. He's a hardcore legend.
I am a hardcore legend. And it's just the more hardcore something seems, like, I would give John Cena. Everyone knows, 5-star, you know that I'm not a big John Cena fan.
No, not at all. Not as much of a Goldberg fan. King of Wrestling.
But somebody in this universe is not a John Cena fan?
Yeah, I am not a John Cena fan.
I'm
really not.
That's a shock to me. No, all right. Continue.
Okay. Well, good. But I actually enjoyed one of his matches.
Which one was that?
and
When
that
he
was
faced Goldberg?
the three.
All right, I'm done. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. When he
Even
faced
though I
him
didn't like either one of the people in the match, I enjoyed his 3 stages of hell match.
with who?
Ryback.
Oh, with Goldberg. Oh my God.
Oh, so now it all comes full circle. Wait, that's the match that I almost didn't make it through.
Yeah, yeah, that's that one. You enjoyed that match? What did you? Oh, you enjoyed that match because it had a tables and an ambulance match in it.
Yeah, it had hardcore
Hardcore
elements to
element
it.
to it. Yeah, I get that. I get that a lot. You must really love WrestleMania 22.
I'm sorry, I'm lost right now.
Did you not see
Why?
WrestleMania 22?
Dude, I'm under the influence right now.
I know. I'm
Please
sorry.
elaborate.
You can't you can't host a show under the influence. It's illegal in a few states, but not where
No.
he is. Well, WrestleMania 22 that had a lot of hardcore elements compared to the other year. The only hardcore elements that you had to recent WrestleManias, well, back
Is that
then,
the one where Edge speared Mick Foley through the
through
flaming
a
table?
table. Yes.
Yes, and also Shawn Michaels versus Mr. McMahon in a
No
street fight.
holds barred
Yeah,
match.
okay. Now I recall that. Yes.
Yeah, did you really like that? Because you
And
had a
Money in the
casket
Bank as
match.
well.
Yeah, Money in the Bank casket match. You had
Oh yeah. I really
Worms
enjoyed 23. You know, if
23.
WWE would go ahead and put more hardcore elements into everything, I would really. Huh?
I want to recommend you check out CZW. Do you watch CZW? That's hardcore. That's about as hardcore as it gets for wrestling.
See, for as hardcore as it gets, I wish WSX would come back.
Okay, but do you watch CZW?
No, I've actually never heard of it, actually.
Oh wow, you're gonna be on that, man.
Yeah, check out CZW and
C Z
ZW. Yes, you'll really enjoy that. It's hardcore wrestling. So it's pretty much all hardcore wrestling. So you'll probably
Is it
really.
just called CZW Wrestling?
Yeah,
Yep.
C as in crazy, Z as in TNA, and W as in wrestling.
Man, 5 star, you're really like asking to get hit, aren't you?
I'm a heel today, buddy. I'm a heel on TNA episodes. Whenever we do a TNA episode, I'm gonna play a heel, which is actually a baby face if you consider yourself a WWE fan. But I'm a heel.
I think this is the only TNA episode we'll do. So
Yeah, this is the only TNA
we'll
episode
get
that we
great
will do.
feedback from the 2 people listening, and they've already tuned out. So.
Well, it's 40 minutes in. We haven't even gotten an hour, so we're okay.
Oh.
We still have a viewer or two. We don't have an audience. We're kind of having a conversation here with 2 to 3 people. But
Well, I'm sorry that you guys, really don't like TNA, but TNA.
I think I've been fair with my analysis.
yeah, he's been fair. I've been
Well,
straight
yeah.
up heel.
Yeah, you've been a dick.
I think
been a
there's
dick.
really great. I think there's a lot of great young talent in TNA that is misused.
I agree with that
I think
100%.
there's a lot of talent in there, and I think there have been multiple great matches. TNA used to be really good. I think back before Russo and Hogan and company all came in. I think that back in maybe 05, 06. I don't know if Russo was there yet. I don't think so. But around that time period, TNA was pretty great. At least moments, especially like Angle and Samoa Joe had a good feud. I mean, there was some good stuff back in the day from TNA. I'm not happy. I haven't been happy with their product for a good 3 or 4 years now, and I genuinely have given them a chance. I paid my hard-earned money to order their pay-per-view legally.
Shut up, dude.
And watch. I gave them a real chance and gave them my money even. So it's not like I'm just sitting here criticizing TNA with no merit.
Like me.
Yes.
You don't even watch it, so your opinion don't matter.
I do watch it, actually. I do watch it, okay? I do. I give it a chance. I look up, like, TNA's matches of the year, and I look up each and every one of those matches, and I watch them. I give them a chance. I like to see and keep up with who are the top guys in TNA, because I like to see the good things, the very little, but the good things that TNA has to offer. And I keep up with it just because I do a show and I'm on a page and I got to keep up with this kind of stuff. I do it for homework, not because I want to or because I'm entertained, because I'm not. But I do it because, yeah. So I am keeping up with what they do. I just don't enjoy what they do.
If I had to say a company that I wish got more attention on the level of TNA, I'd say ROH. I wish Ring of Honor got a better TV deal
I'm with
uh,
you.
like TNA has, because they really are an exciting company. They're not pitch perfect, and they aren't as amazing as they used to be, but they still are very solid. Put on really solid matches and interact with the fans quite a bit. I went to their WrestleMania pay per view, their version of WrestleMania, the night before WrestleMania 29.
What's it called?
Um, I don't know.
I
Don't know.
stumbled the Webster of Wrestling, ladies and gentlemen. I'm full heel
I
now.
went to the show too. I honestly,
You're the only one who watched the show out of the three of us, and wow,
yeah,
I'm a real heel. Continue.
yeah. Go ahead. If you could do a quick Google search for the Hammerstein Ballroom Show or
I
whatever.
think if I were a baby face, I'd probably do that. But I'm a heel. You can
All
ask
right,
one
all
of a
right.
kind.
Well, anyways, I went there at their big show, their biggest show of the year, at the Hammerstein Ballroom in New York City, home of multiple ECW events, including the one that Cena Winslow Riot right here. This guy, one of a kind, went to for One Night Stand in 2006. I went to that show and it was an amazing atmosphere, reminiscent of the old ECW days. They really interacted with the crowd. All the matches were really solid. They put on great in-ring spectacles, great in-ring action, and I was really like, going in. I was not up to date with a lot of the storylines, but it really didn't matter because they brought me into it instantly with the in-ring action. So that says something for how solid their matches can be in ROH, even without knowing the storylines. So I can't say enough good about that show, and I really wish I had the opportunity to watch more ROH. But considering it's only on the web, I rarely get around to it, unfortunately. And I wish they had a better TV deal. So that's a company that I think would be cool competition for WWE, even though they're not competition. Neither is TNA for that matter. But that's a company that I really enjoy. Just throwing it out there.
I'm right with you, man. ROH is great. Oh my gosh. FWE, that's doing okay too. Somewhat. It has John Morrison, okay? Come on. He's the world champ. And Carlito's there. We all miss Carlito. Epico and Primo are coming back as Matadors.
That's something.
That's something. It's kind of like Carlito. He spits in the face of people who don't want to mess with bulls.
Wait. You just ruined that for me.
That spoiler alert. I forgot to say that. I'm sorry. I'm a heel.
Well, it's sort of a spoiler alert. I mean, they did advertise it on Raw.
Yeah, but they didn't say it was Epico or Primo.
Yeah, they didn't say who it was.
Not that I said it who it was, because I'm really sorry, buddy. That was an accident. I didn't know that you didn't know. You know a lot of stuff. I assumed you knew more than I did for a second. But then again, I'm a heel and I don't care.
I actually didn't really look into it because I just thought they were going to be a ripoff of La Resistance.
La Resistance, but they're Matadors.
They're Mexicans and they were French.
The ROH pay-per-view that I attended.
Oh my God, you're going! Oh man, do it.
It was called Super Card of Honor.
Super Card of Honor. Yeah, I looked that up for you actually because I'm kind of nice. Super Card of Honor 2, I think.
7th annual Super Card of Honor. So.
Wait, hell just froze over. You just became nice. What?
No, it was only for a second. Don't kid yourself, man.
It doesn't matter. WWE man here was on the case, and he looked it up.
I looked it up.
WWE man looked it up. Yes.
I looked it up, dude.
Yes, he looked it up, but kept it his dirty little secret.
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay.
I'm a nice heel.
But
you're welcome.
Oxymoron much, but okay.
Emphasis on moron.
I
No,
think
I said
that is there
oxymoron.
really
I
anything
know.
else to discuss here, guys?
When it comes to TNA, no.
Yeah,
I'm honestly done. I'll discuss one more thing, and then this show, I'm putting it into the show.
You're
I'm
gonna put us
killing.
out of our misery. We have 10
I'm
minutes
taking it
left
to
of
the
the show.
backyard. I'm shooting it in the head with a shotgun.
With a
And
shotgun. Oh
it's
wow.
over.
Eh,
That's what I'm gonna do to the show. I'm just gonna remove it.
It's better than an extra show.
Eh, sure.
Well, we are talking about TNA, so that's kind of pushing it.
Yeah, that's really pushing it. I want to discuss one more thing. This is not about TNA. I think we've covered TNA, our opinions on TNA. If you have a question about what we think of TNA and other topics to do with TNA wrestling, ROH wrestling, or any other form of wrestling, CZW, Dragon Gate, anything else that you want to hear us talk about, we'll discuss it on a future show. I want to close out by talking about the topic that one of a kind brought up on the SummerSlam show that we didn't get back to because it really wasn't relevant for the show. But why not talk about here? That's the Mark Henry and Big Show babyface tag team and their babyface turns and them as a tag team. I think we should just discuss it real quick since one of a kind brought it up and we never got back to it. What do you think, Five Star, about that?
I don't know what to think about that.
I mean, I can go first if you want.
Yeah, you go.
Yeah. I like what they've done with Mark Henry as a face because usually as a face he's the hey Kool-Aid man.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that kind
You're
of face.
good at that.
But I like what they've done this time because he's still just kind of the tough Mark Henry, the world's strongest man Mark Henry. He's not really any different except he's decided to go after the heels instead of the bay faces. So I like what they've done with him. As for Big Show as the face, I don't. I have mixed opinions with when he's faced, and this time I'm not really liking it. It's the smiling Big Show, and I don't like smiling Big Show because I don't feel like the smiling giant gimmick is one that really puts him over the edge and really works for him. It's fun, it's nice, but it's not something that really pushes him to new levels. Um, as for a tag team, it's I guess okay. It's not something that I'm in love with. I really like Mark Henry and what he was doing as a singles wrestler at this point in his career. So it's kind of disappointing to see him go be a tag team with the show. But it's a threat for the Shield. It's a definite threat. Two big guys and two kind of legendary wrestlers tag teaming to try to take out the Shield. It makes sense, and I'm okay with it. Hopefully, it won't be a long tag team.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. I mean, okay. I'll give it to you. Mark Henry and Big Show. They are a team to be reckoned with. It reminds me of Kane and Big Show. I love big tag teams. They just seem
Tons of funk.
tons of funk. Never mind. So Big Show and Mark Henry. I should probably wait for you guys to come back.
I'm here.
What? Joey's not.
All right, he's probably taking like a nice smoke break during the show.
I doubt it. Hey, Joey.
Yo.
You okay?
You guys lost me.
Yeah, we lost you, buddy. We lost you like TNA lost views, man. Are you alright?
Oh, you're
how can you lose viewers when you never had them?
I know, that's what I'm saying. It was a joke within a joke, you know?
Low blows.
Low blows, man. Alright, yeah.
You were supposed to be my friend.
I hate you too. Okay. Like I was saying, Big Show, Mark Henry, great tag team on paper. They're two legends. They broke a ring together. How close could you be? How possibly closer can you be than breaking a ring together? They're okay. I look forward to seeing them face the Shield. I think that's an interesting dynamic. Yeah, I mean, clean Big Show, he's all right. Not better than heel Big Show. Way better than tweener Big Show. But Yeah, and Mark Henry going clean, I think it's a good move, a smart move, um, because of how much of a reaction he got from his speech and turn on Cena. I think that was just brilliant, and it's good to capitalize on a moment like that. Um,
It was.
I look forward to Big Show punching Mark Henry in the face and going back to his heel ways.
How
And
many turns? How many more turns can Big Show have?
Big Show can turn a lot. All right, he might be getting dizzy by now, but he can turn a lot. And he's been
Yeah,
turning
I think
around
that'll
and
be his new
around and
gimmick
around.
is the dizzy gimmick. Like, how many more times can I be spun around here?
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, to answer your question, Joey, um, or to respond to it, I just think that they're pretty cool for the moment. We don't have a lot of teams. We don't have a lot of teams that are comprised of two individuals who are not tag team partners. They're just people who are a part of the team, and I love those kind of teams. I don't like matadors. um, I like Matt Hardy MVP sort of thing, or
Matadors are going to be amazing. What are you talking about? They're going to be like Edge and Christian when they were the Conquistadors.
fair enough. Nah, all right.
No, I'm not serious at all. So.
Okay, good. Uh, but yeah, I think it'd be fun to see him face Shield for a bit, but I don't think that they should stick around for a long time. But then again, they don't really have anything else to do, so be a tag team. Go ahead. That's my
All
thought.
right. I actually like the fact that okay,
Okay.
they both came.
Okay, go ahead.
They both came into the ring. After RVD won that 20-man battle royal, and both of them showed RVD respect, and that's what matters is showing somebody respect, and I really give my respects to both of them because they did that.
Right on.
All right. That's. Is there anything else? Because this is quite a show. This is quite
Well,
a
I'm
show.
trying to stall. We got 3 minutes.
3 more minutes to go. Okay. Well, as always, you can leave your suggestions, your comments, your tweets, your likes, and your messages.
Are you gonna pimp for 3 minutes?
I could go on and on. Your retweets.
Your retweets, your comments, your likes, your
Well,
dislikes, your pros, your cons, your
wait.
pictures, your.
Well,
Pimpin' time.
well, feel free to actually get on Facebook and come look at me and Five Stars page and their page as well, the Websters of Wrestling, and World Wrestling News and Rumors. Go ahead and give us, ring, like the page, get us some likes out there. And
Yeah,
like,
go ahead. Finish your pimping.
hey, I'm not pimping, man. I'm just trying to get the word out there.
That's
And
pimping.
you can win you can win titles on ours. We have hilarious things that go on, hilarious backstage annex, and it's hilarious. We're all serious, but it's hilarious in every sorts of way. So come on over and give us a like.
All right. Thank you for that one of a kind. And check me out on, and sometimes you'll find 5 Star there. Check us out on at Web of Wrestling on Twitter. I'm on there all the time, just kind of perusing, and I'd love to talk with any of you guys if you would like to discuss anything to do with the world of professional wrestling with me. I am there on at Web of Wrestling. That's on Twitter. And check us out, of course, on our official Facebook page, Websters of Wrestling. And I think that about covers it. You're already on our YouTube page. You wanna promote your music, 5 Star? Your
Not
official
on
YouTube
a
page?
TNA show. No one's gonna see it. But
Might as well just
I
say your official YouTube page. I mean, might as well.
check out D Average up on YouTube. I'm a riggedy rapper up on there, and I do my thing, and I have good music and all that stuff.
You
Anyway,
just said that, and they're not going to do it.
yeah, I know. So
If you don't like riggedy rap, then something's probably not right.
something is wrong with you. Then you are probably a TNA fan.
Or your wiggity 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 whack.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, you got me. You feel me on that. Anyway, I'm up on Twitter every now and then. For those of you who are interested, I'm actually the producer of the show, and I have to edit everything. I do the pictures, I do the songs. So if you guys have a song that you want me to do for a theme song for an next show or for any specific show, if you're like, hey, Survivor Series, do this song or whatever, go ahead and send that to us on Twitter. Send it to WWE Man on Twitter. Send it
Yeah,
to me on Facebook, and I'll check it out. I'll do my thing. I'll do my best to get you guys in on this show. This show can be just as fan interactive as anything that you want it to be. We just need your input. That's it. And you give us your input. And I mean, somebody hated on us. Our first hater, and we promoted him for 2 shows for our first
that's
two
true.
shows. Woody Ubane.
What do you
Woody
say?
Ubane, how you doing? Do
Yay!
not be a Woody because Woody's a dick. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you can be a part of this show, whether you're good or bad, whether you love us or you hate us. We're like John Cena, but better. Um, yeah, like our pages, check us out, give us your suggestions, your feedback, any feedback. That would be nice because we feel quite lonely here. Um, yeah, that's basically it. I guess. Yeah, we promoted everything. Yeah, we are now a minute over our scheduled time to close. So, gosh, dude, let's close this up.
All right. I'm here with a 5-star legend
That's me.
and one of a kind.
One of a kind.
That's me.
Yeah.
And I am WWE Man. We are the Websters of wrestling.